Hello everyone, it's Mish here and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by, and if you keep coming back for more, I appreciate you so much and love all the comments that you do leave. Today I will be doing another page in the Margarete Miller Collage Challenge. This is a book that I picked up at the thrift store, and I liked how it felt, and I liked the size of the pages, which are roughly 8.5 by 10.5, 10 3/4. I have done, well, 21 other collages. So if you are new and you haven't seen those tutorials, you can check them out in my playlist, Margarete Miller Collage Challenge 2024. So the prompts for this week, week 22, are a border or frame, something found in a library, a bug or insect, a piece of newspaper, some stitching, real, drawn, or stamped, and bonus is some paint splatters, which I won't be doing the bonus. I won't be doing the paint splatters. So I had to really hunt around to find some newspaper. I did have some that had gone out in the recycle bin, but the recycling went out on a couple of days ago, yesterday actually. So I couldn't go root around in my recycling, but I did happen in my little collage. I have this file box that I picked up at IKEA, and I had some in there. So this is from last summer here in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and I like these articles that I'm using because it draws in the library theme on this one. So this one here is all about what's going on at the library. And I'm thinking I'll put that down here. So at the Sackville Library, the Dartmouth, the Keshin. I usually go to the Keshin, it's closer to my house, or Central Library, which is downtown in Halifax. So we've got our pieces of newspaper down. So then I kind of wanted to draw, make sure this was a little bit cohesive. Not that we need to all the time. So I am going to draw in a little bit of color. But next what I want to put down is just this little piece of collage paper. I think I got it in a Creative Studios kit. I can't remember. It was in one of the pads. And I liked it because of the insects. So there's some dragonflies. And I did have a dragonfly in this collage last week. So I'm going to pull that more onto this page. And dragonfly, if you're watching, this is in honor of you as well. So I've had quite a few people who have followed me right from my beginning last year, and Bront and Dragonfly are two of them. So thank you so much for watching and leaving comments. I really do appreciate it. Got stuff stuck up all over the place here. Okay, and most people don't even care about the prompts, but I kind of like knowing that they're there in case at some point I want to look and see what it was, what the prompts were. I usually use tape runner and Elmer's glue. So this here is Elmer's glue. It's the glue all. It's not the school glue. Okay, so what's next? So something found in a library. So in some libraries, you can still get the borrower's card in the back of the book. Most people are going electronic right now, but that is still something that you can find at some libraries. I'm also going to, I think before I put this down, maybe I'll put this first. I'm just not exactly sure exactly where I want this to go. So I'm thinking, because I have an image I want here. Let's just say here. It might get covered over. I was hoping that it would kind of peek out the top. Because if that's going to go kind of there, I was thinking this might kind of go here maybe. We shall see. And then, as I said, I was trying to draw the two pages together. So this came from the same pad. A couple of these came from last week. And that's one of these little scrapbook pads, they're called. just if you're ordering one, just make sure that you're looking at the small print for the size. I thought this was a lot bigger piece of paper, and I was thinking it was 8.5 by 11, but it's only, I don't even know how much that would be. It's 4 by 5.25 maybe. But I wanted to use this. This also has an insect, so of course the butterfly is an insect. But I didn't want the whole spread to be about butterflies. So I'm going to add some other ones in. Let's get that down. Okay, so what I want next. So this next image, I got out of a desk calendar. I guess they're called the 365 Days of Marjolein Bastin. And I've used her quite a bit in my collages because I just absolutely love her images. And the way the page comes is it's set up like this, and then I usually cut the side off it. So that's what I've done here, but I want a little border there, but I don't want this to show through. So I'm just going to cut that off, and I'm going to leave enough that I can glue a little border on the very edge there without some of that black writing showing through. And I think also by putting a little border on the side there, this image has a lot of white, so it will kind of set that image off a little bit. So I've got a little border there, and I want that eventually to go about there. Okay, and then I have another little image from the same calendar, and I want to do the same thing with this one. The edge doesn't really seem straight, but I guess it doesn't really matter. And I'm just going to put, again, just a little bit of glue there. It's a bit of a dreary day outside, which is just as well on my days off, because on my days off, I've already gone this morning to do some errands. And when I wanted this to be a crafting day. So I like that it's dreary, as I don't really feel... Actually, I'm going to leave that little piece still on there. Okay, move that out of the way. And then, along with the borrower's card, I knew I'd probably end up... Actually, I can put that over there like that. Something like that. So, something else found in a library course are book stacks. So I have this really cool image of this library. At least I'm thinking in my mind it's a library. Which is going to go... I think it's just going to go about there. Not exactly sure. I need to bring these other images. And I have another image to go kind of there. Actually, I think I'm going to put that there, down at the bottom. If the spacing is off a bit, well, I love the library. I always have. I remember when we were very young, like I'm saying maybe 10. I was the oldest kid, so Mom on Saturdays, I think, used to go to Sackville to get her groceries and do her errands, 'cause she worked all week. And she would take my brother and I to the library. And that was before Sackville has gotten a bigger library now, but it was just a little hole in the wall type place, and it was the best place on Saturday that I could go, and I would go and read. Okay, and then my other image that has the stitched is I went to the sewing machine and I stitched on there, and I did stitch in white because I didn't want it to like fly off the page. But this is another one of those images from the calendar, But what I did with this one is that I just cut slivers off the sides and then I glued them together like a frame. And then I actually glued the frame on just a piece of white cardstock, and then I glued my image on top of that. And then I took it to the sewing machine. So it looks a little bit like a framed image. And then with the stitching. And I wanted that to kind of sit here. But then I have a couple frames too that I'd like to add. I like that over top. And I did want that Borrows card just to peek out there. Because I have something else I want to put over here. I'm kind of liking the spacing. So I think I'll go ahead and get some things put down. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one put down. And I'm just going to slide that there. I can tack it down better later. Guess I'll get that like right there. And then I'm going to have that over top there. And just put that maybe, and then actually if I put it over like kind of like that, it almost is like it's framing the word borrowers. But I don't want it to go over onto the dragonflies there on that. So I've got another, I think right about there is good. So I'm going to put that down there. And then I think that would go right there. But I also have two other frames. So these two frames came from the same ephemera that this frame came from. Because I thought I would draw kind of like the frames together and frame some of these other insects. I really liked the caterpillar, and I don't think in any of my collages up to date that there's been I don't think I've put a caterpillar in, so I'm good with that. And then I'm thinking that this would actually go good, and that can go over a bit. So I definitely want to get this down. I am going to use some glue, as glue is a little bit more forgiving than the tape. So I do have a little bit of wiggle room there. So I'm kind of liking how that looks there. Okay, and then that, and then I do like that kind of crookedness, although I could go straight and just frame it like that, or even, oh, I kind of like that. Yeah, I think I'm going to frame that like that. I was going to go at an angle because the other ones on the other side was at an angle. But I never tried it in a different orientation, and I'm really liking framing that up like it's a little picture. Like that. I like that. On this one here you can see, maybe it's kind of small, but I have another monthly calendar, I guess, or weekly, and it has the same image, only a lot bigger, and it has the names of the little dragonflies, and that's in Dutch. So this one here says, my Dutch, sorry for Maya and people who are watching that are actually Dutch, Groot Kiezerlibel, and that means this is the large imperial dragonfly. And then this one here, the Wiedebekjuffer, that is a meadow damselfly. And then this Platbuik is a flat belly dragonfly. So that's kind of cool. Right, so let's get this one down. And I think with this, I will put some tape in the middle, but I'm just going to put some glue around the edging. Big plane just went over. We're not far from the Shearwater. I'm not far from Shearwater Air Force Base here in Halifax. Actually, it's in Eastern Passage. So sometimes they do maneuvers and stuff, and you can hear the planes going over, or search and rescue. I'm also not far from the hospital, where we have a life flight helicopter that sometimes I hear going over top to the hospital. Okay, so I think we've got what we need: a border, frame, something found in a library, bugs or insects. The other bug, I'll get back to in just a second, piece of newspaper and stitching. So the other bug that I wanted to include was a ladybug. So I really love ladybugs. And sometimes if I'm looking for a little bit of hope or something, and I just put it out there, I then sometimes will see a ladybug on my door or land on me. And I think that it's a good sign. I think it's a good luck thing. But the images that I had just from the Marjolein calendar was, they were kind of smallish. So I kind of went to my botanist sticker book, and there were a number of insects that I thought might, oh, there was a little dragonfly there, and then there was some other dragonflies there, but I was kind of looking for a ladybug or ladybird, that they're called when I lived in the UK. But these ones seem kind of dark though, like quite dark. So I then went to look at, I might come back to that one. I then went to look at a Marjolein. I've been loving her for years and years. Book that I've had for, well, a long time. And I'm saying that this was, I got it in 1995 because it had been released when I had bought it. So that's quite a few years ago. But in here, I've been using it every now and again for some illustrations. But they had a little ladybug here, and I was thinking that I could use one of those. There's one flying, and I could put it there. So let's think about that. The other options is I have this bug book. It's a sticker book that I got at Michael's because there were some other little bugs that I like that little grasshopper. There's a little grasshopper there too, on there. I think maybe I'll use one of these. And there's some other butterflies, some moths and butterflies. I kind of like this bee one too. And this is actually, this is in a little frame. Maybe I'll use this one. I'll put it there, up in that corner, because that's kind of nice. And I always like the bees in my collages, if I can. It draws my mother in. That's kind of nice there. And what else? Mostly butterflies. I really like this little pad though. Oh, and there's another bee. I could put a little bee there and save my ladybugs for another ladybug day. which that's kind of cool. I could put a little something walking along there. A little sticker. Oh, there's a little ladybug. Do you think that would go? I think that's too red. For this spread is too, I think that, yeah. Thinking it's not gelling because it's clashing. Okay. So then I have these little butterfly ones that I kind of thought if I had a couple here, so maybe I should just put one on this side to kind of draw the eye along the whole thing. And maybe I would put it somewhere here. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking here. So I put that there. I think I should have something here though, but I didn't really want to put a butterfly. I also had the bibliophilia. Oh, that had to, well, I could put a bee there. Or I could put another flower. I'm very undecisive at the moment. I'll get my little flower book out and see. Maybe I could just put a sticker there. Because it's about embellishing as well. Where I've got one of the gold ones there, maybe I'll just put that there. Kind of like that. And then down in this corner, I'll just put a little pink flower. That's kind of nice. All right, I think we've got her. I think we've got all the prompts, and I'm kind of liking how it's looking. I love how that's framed in the little borders on the side there. So, yep, so that's it. Just double checking. So if you did like this, I'd love for you to give me a like. And if you haven't subscribed already, I'd love for you to subscribe. And until we meet again, I hope you stay safe and well, and bye for now.